It's time now for the West Holmes Knights Football Weekly Preview Show, brought to you by Village Motors in Millersburg.
This week's Knights Football Weekly Preview Show brought to you by Village Motors in Millersburg. I'm Matt Quayle alongside Mike Kinsey, and West Holmes entered Week 10 last week, needing to win to get into the postseason, and West Holmes doing that. A 42-10 victory on their home field on senior night over the Holy Name Green Wave, and Mike, an impressive performance by the Knights in a must-win game.
It sure was. I don't know if we've peaked yet this year, but hopefully we're getting to that, and that's what the playoffs are all about. Whoever's playing their best football at the end of the season is more likely to be more successful, and hopefully we're doing that right now, Matt.
Outscoring Holy Name 21-0 in the second half, and the defense doing the job.
Yeah, everybody's stepping up. The first turnover in the first half, or the first possession of the game, that showed a lot of character with our teams. They overrode that, and they came back and they played hard. So our team now is very mature, and I look for good things to happen.
Look, over the course of the last couple of weeks, West Holmes have been right around that 400-yard mark as far as offense is concerned. Again, last week, threw for just under 300 yards through the air, a little over 100 yards rushing, also 5 touchdown runs in the game as well offensively.
Yeah, we've got some key people really doing well right now. We can hurt you in many different ways. We can run the ball. We're throwing the ball deep a little bit now. So I wouldn't want to play West Holmes right now. Like I said, they're playing pretty good football right now, and they got a lot of momentum, and we have a lot of tradition going for us also.
Certainly do. West Holmes now 5-5 of the season going into postseason action. Let's go out to Knight Stadium to Jake Seidel alongside head coach Keaton Lepla.
Thanks, Matt. Here with head coach Keaton Lepla. Coach, we talked last week about it being win or go home. You got the win, and you've made your way into the first round of the playoffs after a huge win against Holy Name.
Yeah, it's that was a pretty special night. You work top to bottom of our seniors. They all had fantastic games. They all made extraordinary plays. And it's really good to see from our kids. It's a situation. Your back's pinned up against the wall. You have to get a win or you're done. So to see our kids come out and, that's probably the most complete game we've played. Now, does that not mean there's things that we can correct, things that we got to get better at? Absolutely. But that's the 4 quarters of complementary football that we're talking about. And to get that win and to do it right as we're about to start our second season is a huge deal for our program.
Coach, how much did it mean for those seniors to come in and get a win on their home field one last time in their career?
It's special. It's special, to get that last one on your home field. But, it's also special for these guys to get in the playoffs. They're a class that's experienced a ton of success, and I guarantee you they've made the playoffs 4 years of their whole entire high school career. So for them, that's a huge deal, and for the program, it's a huge deal, that continued success. The difference between 10 weeks of practice and 11 weeks of practice is ginormous. So, for a program, it's great. For our kids, it's great. And for our kids to put together the type of game they put together on Friday is pretty special.
Coach, like we said, first round of the playoffs coming up. You're going to head down to Chillicothe and face off against Unioto. What are you expecting to see out of them?
Yeah, it's first of all, we're going to face a little adversity, long bus ride, but it's playoffs, so, you got to fight through that. With them, I don't think they have, as tough as good of a resume as us as far as, strength of schedule. We play a pretty darn good schedule, and they play some smaller schools down there, so, what we expect to see from them, they like to run the football. They like to be physical up front, and they got a sophomore quarterback, so who's not afraid to chuck the ball deep. They got pretty good receivers. They got 3 wide receivers that are pretty good, 2 backs that are pretty good. But I compare them to a New Philly Madison type offense, type defense. Defensively, they're going to give us their look, and that's what they're going to give us. They haven't faced a team like us that'll really air out the ball. But they want to take away the run. They want to force teams to pass. So right now where our offense is clicking, that's right into our strength, and that's what we plan on using against them.
Yeah, going right into that, Coach, what are you doing to help keep the boys engaged here with the extra week and get them ready for Unioto?
Yeah, the biggest thing is, I talk to them, there's nothing more guaranteed now. There's no more guaranteed. It's not week 9 where we're guaranteed week 10. It's not, there's not, hey, we got next week. It's not. It's, if we don't do our jobs, if we don't execute, if we don't take care of the football, if we go out on Friday and don't play to our level, we're done. And for these seniors, these are guys who have played a lot of football games. They've made a lot of runs in the playoffs. I think it's starting to click for those guys that, hey, if we don't do this thing right week to week, we're done. So the biggest thing is those seniors, stepping up, leading, making sure the rest of this team is locked in, engaged, giving them a look, executing what we need to do offensively and defensively.
Coach, thanks for your time today, and good luck Friday night against Unioto.
Thank you.
Jake Settle here with West Holmes, Darren Gallion, and Zach Hustack. Darren, we'll start with you, the center on this offensive line, and this is an offensive line that looks like they've grown each and every week. What are your kind of thoughts on how you've played on the offensive line?
I think we do all right. We hold our ground, even though we're not the biggest O-line, but we do all right.
And you've had a lot of practice, I know, with Morgan Smith throughout the seasons, but it seems like as the weeks went on, he's been getting some more time to get things done in the backfield.
Yeah, we practice hard and keep grinding.
All right, Zach, we'll move over to you. 25 tackles, 1.5 sacks this season on the defensive side of the ball. What's kind of been your philosophy when you get out there?
I just go my hardest every play and make sure I do my job and have everything right.
The defense, another unit we've really seen improve throughout the season, had some really great games to end the regular season. What are you kind of doing now to get ready for Unioto?
We're putting in a game plan and watching film on our opponents and watching their line and adjusting to that.
Darren, we'll go back to you real quick here. We'll first ask what are you doing with the offensive line to prepare for Unioto?
Just communicate as much as we can and just put our head down and go.
And senior night last week against Holy Name, what did it mean for you to get that win on senior night?
That's a big win. It gives us a boost going into playoffs, and that's about it.
Okay, well, guys, thanks so much for your time today. Good luck Friday against Unioto.
Thank you.
We'll send it back to Matt Croy at Village Motors.
All right, Jay, thank you. Alongside Mike Kinsey once again at Village Motors. So, Mike, it's not a lot of time here left, but still time to take advantage of supplier pricing at Village Motors.
Yeah, we've done really well with it. We've got a lot of inventory here. We're making deals happen. Hopefully we get some good trade-ins, but the manufacturers are, they have good financing. We have good prices here. So now is a good time to buy a car.
Hurry on in. That's Village Motors on Worcester Road in Millersburg on the web. VillageMotorsInc.com. West Holmes, of course, 5-5 on the season. In the playoffs for the 5th consecutive year. West Holmes 11-4 over the course of the last 5 years in postseason play. They have not lost in the first round of the playoffs over the course of the last 5 seasons for them. Of course, they're going to take on the Unioto. The Sherman Shakes going into this game out of Chillicothe, Ohio. Of course, they'll make the long trip there to Chillicothe to take on Unioto. They are 9-1. They're the 4th-ranked team in this region. Of course, over the last 2 seasons, Unioto also 9-1, but lost in the first round of the playoffs each of those 2 seasons. Alongside Mike Kinsey once again, and Mike Westall's going to lean on their experience going into this postseason game.
Yeah, I think so. There's a good chance that this team probably doesn't know a whole lot about us, and they might overlook us. And I know our boys are hungry. We've been there before. We're experienced. This is just another game for us, and I know this doesn't want to be the last game for them either.
No question. And for West Holmes, the talent's never been an issue. We've kind of seen the different times West Holmes maybe hurt themselves during the course of the games. They kind of feel like if they put full 4 quarters together, they can beat about anybody.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. We're not lacking talent, like we've said most of the year. The talent is there, and like I had mentioned earlier, hopefully they're starting to gel right now, and we can win a few playoff games.
Should be exciting, no question about that. Don't miss it here. Of course, yes, it will be a long trip to Chillicothe. We invite everybody else to go out there and support the Knights over in Chillicothe this Friday. But you also can watch the game video live stream coverage on the WKLM YouTube page, courtesy, of course, of our partnership, as always, with Claxon Communications. Our hometown football Friday night pregame show begins at 6 p.m. Kickoff is at 7 o'clock. For Mike Kinsey, I'm Matt Croy. Special thanks to Jake Seidel in Keaton Lepla. And that's been this week's Knights Football Weekly Preview Show, brought to you by Village Motors in Millersburg.
You've been watching the West Holmes Knights Football Weekly Preview Show, brought to you by Village Motors in Millersburg.